Hey guys, it's Joe the Android guy. Ads, advertisements, where are they acceptable and where are they not? That's what we're going to talk about in this week's episode of the Android Guy Weekly. So a quick history of Google. Google had some free stuff. Search engine, for example, Gmail, they were free. Well, they were paid for by ads that you had to look at when you were using their products, but you didn't have to pay money out of your pocket to use them. Well, all of a sudden, Google kind of started putting feelers out for a cell phone OS and eventually ended up buying Android. They didn't announce any plans with it right away. We all know what happened. But way back in the day, speculation started to fly. Is Google going to make a phone? A Google phone? In fact, that's what a lot of people thought the G1 was going to be, was the Google phone. In fact, we thought the phones were going to be called G1, G2, G3, all the way up for Google 1, Google 2, etc., etc. We know that didn't happen either, but that's kind of what we thought. In addition, there were some rumors that flew that said these phones were going to be free. The plans were going to be free. Or maybe the plans would cost money and the phones would be free, or the phones would be free and the plan, whatever. Essentially free. Why? Because people said, well, Google makes their money off of ads, so obviously they're going to make an ad-based phone and an ad-based operating system. We know that didn't happen, but that was what speculation and rumor was back in the day. Now, Google does make money off of ads. Most of the stuff is inside their apps, not inside the OS itself. Google Maps, for example. If you want to find a restaurant, open up Google Maps or Google Places, it's really the same app, search for something. You're going to get an advertisement or two or three at the top that's relevant to your search, just like when you're searching on google.com. Makes a lot of sense to do it that way, right? But that's still inside the app, and it's an app, not in the OS. Fair enough. T-Mobile recently had an update, shall we call it, to their account app. Now, this account app is pretty cool. It lets you see how many texts you've sent and received, how many minutes you've used, and how much data you've basically burned through on your plan. And it shows you how much you should expect to pay at the end of the month when the billing cycle is up. Kind of cool. Bathed in a lot of magenta, which I don't particularly like, but the application itself is very, very nice. This recent update, however, people started reporting some ads. And I'm not talking ads because the app is free. I'm not talking ads like we're used to in apps that are at the top or the bottom or both. What I'm talking about is ads that were up here in the notification tray. So you'd get a notification that you had a new ad, you'd pull down your shade here, and there would be your advertisement. Not very cool. In fact, that sounds awfully reminiscent to what some other people were doing. In effort to make more money, now app developers have to make money somehow. They're not just making these apps out of the goodness of their hearts. Well, maybe a couple of them are, but most of the time they want to be compensated for their work, and we don't blame them, right? It's something that they do. They want to get paid. Let's pay them. We can either buy their apps with money up front and get an ad-free experience. That's the way it's supposed to work. Or get them for free and pay for them over time by watching their ads and hopefully clicking on them eventually when we get a relevant ad that helps us find a good or a service that we didn't know we needed. That's what advertising is all about. But T-Mobile was doing this in such a way that the ads were showing up even when you weren't running their app. This is what another company did. This other company basically sold a plug-in, for lack of a better term, to developers to put their ad distribution network inside these developers' apps. People would then download and install them, and because these ads were getting presented in a different manner, the thought was you'd get a better click-through rate, everybody would be paid more. Great, not a problem. Except it was a problem. You see, there are two problems with that distribution metaphor. The first problem is that's your notification tray. When you pull down that shade, you expect to see information that's important, not just fluff. You expect it to be a new email, a new text message, a calendar appointment, a chat, something like that, that needs your attention right away. An ad, let's face it, doesn't need your attention. They may want your attention, but if you don't look at an ad for 10 minutes or even 10 days, no big deal. If you don't look at your calendar reminder for 10 minutes, you might have a problem. If you don't look at it for 10 days, you probably missed a bunch of meetings. Fair enough. It's not an appropriate place to put ads. First problem. Second problem, those ads run even when the app isn't running. That means they have to have something running in the background all the time to present the ads. Something running in the background all the time to go to the net, get the ads, download them to your phone using your data, I might add, and your battery, and slowing things down in the process to be able to present those ads to you. They're now costing you money to look at those ads. That's not cool at all. Don't do it. There was such a backlash over this that I can't name a single app that still uses that distribution mechanism. There are probably still some out there, I just don't know of any, because those are all lower tier apps, in my opinion. T-Mobile has now risen to the lower tier app bar. Congratulations, T-Mobile. Well, they started getting a backlash too, and they have since apologized, saying that it was an error. It was a mistake. It was kind of worded like a technical glitch. I don't see how crafting an ad that is presented to users could be a mistake, a technical glitch. Somebody had to say, let's do this. Somebody had to actually do it, and then it was implemented. But that's not the big problem. The big problem is now there's an app installed on my phone that's sitting there even when I'm not using it, potentially gobbling up system resources and checking the web to see if there is a new ad that I need to get all the time, even when there's not. The mechanism to display those ads is built into this T-Mobile app, and even though they apologized, they haven't, at the time of this recording, updated it to remove that mechanism, and they need to. T-Mobile is an industry leader because they are a carrier. They need to set an example to everyone, and that example is ads don't go in the notification bar. That app, when you're not running it, needs to not sit there and gobble stuff. So T-Mobile, thank you for the apology. You've got another step to go. So that's my rant on ads and apps in ads and ads in outside. Wow, that's confusing. But now it's your turn. What do you think? Where are ads appropriate? Where would you like to see ads? Where would you not like to see ads? And where should ads never be? Of course, I've biased you, so you can just say I agree with you or I disagree with you. That's fine. But put some thought into it and let me know. From a consumer perspective, from someone who uses apps, who uses the OS, where would you like to see ads and where would you not? And how much is a reasonable amount to pay for an app to get an ad-free version? That's your homework. Go ahead and post the comments down below so we know and we can, of course, participate in this discussion because, after all, that's what the Android Guy Weekly is all about. It's about the discussion. It's about you, and it's now your turn. To read a this and to read the articles about that T-Mobile app, head on over to Pocketnow.com. There will be a link down below, down there. And of course, for Pocketnow and the Android Guy Weekly, I'm Joe Levi.